Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a fantastic evening out there. Hope you're doing well, feeling good. Everything's just lining up nicely in your part of the world. Thank you for being here today. We're going to listen to a little Morrissey. We're going to listen to the track Southpaw. This is coming off of his album, Southpaw Grammar, which was released in 1995, fifth studio album by him. We're listening to this because this was suggested. This was sponsored by Andreas. Andreas, thank you so much for the recommendation, and thank you for the support as well. I truly appreciate that. We've listened to a decent bit recently from Morrissey, some of his solo material, and now it's time for a little bit more of a slice from him. I'm excited to dive into this one, especially because it's not only just the ending of the album, but it's also a 10-minute track from him. So I'm really curious to see what he does in the span of this duration. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on it. Actually, really quickly, not exactly, this is nothing related at all. Okay, I'm sure that you guys have seen like in the news and stuff, like the Artemis 2 launch going around the moon and everything. Okay. You know what's really annoying about that? Like, especially here in like Florida and stuff, like that's like a really exciting thing. It's just something that we've always grown up around. Like rocket launches and spaceships and stuff. You see them going up all the time. As a kid, you hear about the launch, you go outside and everyone watches. Like everyone in the neighborhood, just everyone's out there. So I said to my wife, oh, I forgot that's happening. You know, let's go out and look at the space shuttle going up, and it'll be Liam's first time getting to see it. It was 6:28 when I remembered that, and it was 6:24 when it launched.
You lose! Good day, sir!
Southpaw, Morrissey. Western tone. I like how that guitar continues.
You were a boy before you became a man. I don't see the joy. And you ran with your pals in the sun. You turned around and they were gone again.
I love that subtle rushing of the drums. Really nice. And that guitar. Just really good technique on the drums to keep that good volume and a rushing on it.
A sick boy should be treated so easily defeated. Oh, I just don't understand. So you ran with your pals in the sun. You turned around, you were alone again, and you ran back to Mars, which set the pace for the rest of your days. You ran back to Mars, which set the pace for the rest place for the rest of your days. And now there is something that you should know. There is something that you should know.
Fantastic.
The girl of your dreams is here all alone. Girl of your dreams is here all alone. The girl of your dreams is sad and all alone. The girl of your dreams is here all alone. There is something that you should know. There is something that you should know. The girl of your dreams is all alone. The girl of your dreams is sad and is all alone. The girl of your dreams is sad and is all alone.
Such a fantastic ambience here. Love that. It's just a great jam, and I like how he's let it ride. No changes, just organically throwing the guitar here. Tension in that guitar. That's euphoric. Someone's hitting something back there. Some extra percussion. I wonder what that is. It's almost playing like a Morse code kind of sound here. how the bass just re-enters that a little bit. Like how the snare comes in now. That is so cool. Oh, the guitar re-entering. What a like stark ending. I wasn't even paying attention to the time, and I did not know it was just gonna end just like that. It was, whoa, what a cool track though. This was a fantastic one. Okay. The two guitarists here, Elaine White and Boz Borer. Their guitar playing is the focal point, the heart, the beating, bleeding heart of this track. And it is so wonderful to hear them performing here. I don't think we've ever heard anything from them. I'm clicking on their Wikipedia article now. He's been Morrissey's main songwriting partner since 91 to 2007. Let's see, he's worked with Morrissey pretty much the whole time. A few singles as well. Solo, okay. And then Boz Borer. Same thing. Okay, interesting. He founded the new wave rockabilly group, the Polecats, never heard of them. And in 91 had a 30-year collaboration with Morrissey. Okay, so even him as well as some other albums and appearances there. Like, this was really brilliant. And those two have such a unique chemistry in their guitar playing that it's sensational. So the beginning, it starts off with this dissonant, scratching, kind of playing on the frets and playing in those frayed ends. But it's really cool how those ends begin to meet together to form what would become the main drive and melody of the song. Morrissey comes in. He's singing absolutely wonderfully as always. His voice is always a joy to listen to. And at certain points near the ending of his tenor in singing this track, because there's really not a lot that he's featured in here, I love some of those pure and glassy notes that he reaches into that are just a little bit higher than his usual. It sounds so wonderfully piercing in the most pleasurable way possible. And it just makes a beautiful difference in the music when he reaches that. Like, he's always sung with this amount of depth. And I feel like in this song, it's even more so. Like, he reaches deep, deep, deep into his soul, and he pulls it out in this gorgeously passionate and meaningful way. Now, I'll have to look into the lyrics to see, of course, what they mean. As if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't totally looking at them. I got them up, but I was just listening to the music to be 100%. But regardless, he does a phenomenal job here. The performance from him is great. Let's get back to the guitars. As they eventually lead into the jam section, which takes over pretty much the whole second half, the final 5 minutes, the second 5 minutes of the track, they just go off in this gorgeously atmospheric and driving jam with a great rhythm, drums, Spencer James Coburn, great drums. The verse, going back to the first 5 minutes, the verse and the way that he shuffles on the drums when the music comes in after all that dissonance. So it's a simple pattern, but it's the way that he ghost notes on the snare and he raises the volume on that. I'm just focusing on the snare. The rest of it is great, but in the snare, the like he raises it in such a great way that you have to have a certain focus on your hand when you're playing that. And to make that volume come up in a springy way like that every single time, every single meter, is really great and really impressive. It has a very great like you can tell that there's probably some sort of classical background to his drumming, and I just mean like in technique. Like there's a technique behind his drumming there, which is just sensational to hear, and that just gets better as the music goes on later on, right? Just a great control of space in here, and boy, is that space filled with such. Once again, guitar is just cosmic. It's out of this world. Now, I'm not saying that because I have NASA and space shuttles in my mind right now, but it truly is. Like, listening to this section is absolutely beautifully universal. And I like how you can clearly hear, like right there, you heard, I don't know which guitarist, but one of them coming in with a little bit of lead, and he performs a solo there, which is just tasty to listen to. And while that solo is being performed, we still get some more ambience. We get some more little, I guess you could say, callbacks to the beginning with those scratchy, kind of spacey notes that came in the beginning. We get bits of that kind of hinted at throughout the track in the first 5 minutes as Morrissey is singing in those spaces. But then later on in the jam, we get more of that coming in amongst the guitar solo, the rhythm, and all the effects that are happening there. At one point later on, it sounds like there's an extra percussive instrument happening in the back, which it very well could be. I couldn't quite identify what it is. Hear it? I don't know what it is, but it's something. But this is just a beautifully vivid swell. I think that's a great way to tail this off and to describe this whole 5 minutes here. It's just a swelling, a constant ebb and flow back and forth between the guitars, between really all the musicians. I'm focused on the guitarists, but it's really all of them. And these streams that they bring into their music and where it all coalesces together. It's gorgeous. That is so cool. It's the depth. And there's a moment in there, I mentioned it while the song was playing, but there's a moment in there where the bass kind of re-enters with the music, which was it just made an impact. Johnny Bridgewood on the bass. This was really, really great. This was a nice listen. You were a boy before you became a man. I don't see the joy, and you ran with your pals in the sun. You turned around and they were gone again. You grew up. You were a boy before you became a man. He's looking back because he says, I don't see the joy. And you ran with your pals in the sun. Like you were all having a great time in youth, but you turned around and they were gone. Now, is he looking at himself this way or is he talking about someone else? A sick boy should be treated. So easily defeated. Oh, I just don't understand. So you ran with your pals in the sun. You turned around. You were alone again. And what did you do when you were alone again? You ran back to Ma, which set the pace for the rest of your days. Like that set a habit or set some sort of set pace, so like, would he always run back to Ma, or is this going deeper? He would always run back to someone in his life for support. He couldn't bear being alone, so he had to have someone. And now there is something that you should know. There is something that you should know. The girl of your dreams is here all alone. The girl of your dreams is sad and all alone. Here and all alone. There's something you should know. Girl of your dreams is here all alone. There's something that you should know. And then help me, which I think I could barely pick up at the end of the track there. So I think he's saying, hey, you're a lonely person. That's okay. You're a lonely person. You don't want to be alone. And so in your loneliness, there was a precedent set when you were younger and you ran back to Ma. You can't be alone. You need to be with someone. And hey, guess what? Lucky for you, the girl of your dreams is also here all alone. She's sad, just like you, because she's all alone. And you know what? She's here. She's present, all alone. She's right there. And at the end, he says, help me, help me. Reaching out to this girl. And hopefully she's as well reaching back to him. Ooh, this was a nice song. Any info on this particular track? Nothing, huh? And you know, Southpaw is like left-handed, right? I think most of the time when it's related to like fighting or sports or something like that, activities. So I think it's like, you know, I'm reaching out now, joke. Like he's reaching out with his left hand, and hopefully her right hand will fit perfectly. You know what I mean? They're made for each other. That's a good song. That was a nice listen. Andreas, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for the support. I would love to know what you guys thought of it down there in the comments below. This was really cool to hear a 10-minute track from him, and he just let the band go off for 5 minutes and do their thing. That was a good one. That was really good. Hope you guys doing well, or are doing well. Let's put the R in there. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I will talk to you later. Bye, guys.